Most people believe that the moment a narcissistic woman betrays you is the moment she wins, the moment she steps into a lighter life, a freer life, a happier life. From the outside, it looks like she moved on fast. New energy, new smile, new person by her side. But the truth is the opposite, and it is a truth that is hard to accept, which is why most people avoid looking at it. The moment she betrays the wrong person, her life does not restart. It does not reset. It stops. Not because of karma, not because you are stronger, not because life punished her. It stops because a person who refuses to face their inner reality cannot keep growing. They can keep moving, keep performing, keep replacing, but emotionally, they go nowhere. This video is not about her losing you. That part is obvious. This video is about something much more serious. It is about how betraying you quietly destroyed the only real chance she ever had to change, mature, and become emotionally whole. And if you have ever wondered why, after the betrayal, she still looks fine, still smiles, still posts, still shows up with someone new, while something about her life feels increasingly empty, repetitive, and disconnected, this video is for you. What you are about to hear is not comfortable, but it is grounding, and it brings relief, not because it excuses what happened, but because it finally explains it. The biggest lie about her betrayal. There is a story people repeat when a narcissistic woman betrays someone. The story says she won. It says she escaped something heavy and finally chose herself. Friends may support that version. Social media makes it look convincing. New attention, new excitement, new confidence. From the outside, it looks like a clean break and a fresh start. But that image hides what actually changes and what quietly breaks inside her after the betrayal. What really happens is not growth. It is emotional stagnation. She can stay busy, stay visible, and stay surrounded by people, but her inner world does not deepen. The emotional structure that once kept her regulated is gone. The calm she borrowed from you disappears. What replaces it is urgency. She moves fast because slowing down would force her to feel what she avoids. Movement becomes a distraction, not progress. Why you were never just another partner. You were not brought into her life by chance, and you were not interchangeable. A narcissistic woman does not attach deeply to people who are chaotic, unreliable, or emotionally unstable. She connects to people who can carry emotional weight without falling apart. You showed up consistently. You listened. You stayed regulated when things became intense. That stability mattered more to her than attraction or chemistry, even if she never admitted it. You offered something she could not maintain on her own. You stayed grounded when emotions ran high. You did not need constant reassurance to feel okay. That allowed her nervous system to settle around you. Over time, she began leaning on your emotional presence without saying it out loud. You became the place where she could unload stress, confusion, and insecurity without having to face it directly herself. Your role slowly shifted without your awareness. You were no longer just sharing a relationship. You were managing emotional balance. When she felt anxious, your calm reduced it. When she felt unsure, your certainty filled the gap. When she felt empty, your depth gave her direction. This did not feel like a burden at first because you cared, but it created an imbalance that only became clear later. She interpreted this dynamic as love because it felt soothing. Being with you reduced inner discomfort. It made daily life easier to tolerate. But the connection was not built on mutual emotional responsibility. It was built on one-sided regulation. You were giving something steady while she was receiving relief. Over time, she began to depend on that relief without recognizing it as dependence. This is why she reacted strongly when you started pulling back emotionally or setting limits. The change did not feel small to her. It felt destabilizing. The emotional structure she had grown used to relying on was no longer available in the same way. Instead of adjusting or reflecting, she experienced this shift as a threat to her sense of control and security. The moment you became a threat. The shift did not happen loudly. There was no clear argument or dramatic event that caused it. It began the moment you stopped absorbing her emotional chaos. You no longer rushed to fix her moods. You no longer carried the weight of her reactions. That change may have felt small to you, but for her, it disrupted a system she relied on without ever acknowledging it. When you started setting boundaries, the relationship stopped feeling predictable to her. Boundaries removed her ability to steer situations through emotional pressure. You were no longer bending to keep the peace. You were no longer explaining yourself repeatedly. This created discomfort because it meant she could not control outcomes the way she used to. Control had always helped her feel safe, and now it was slipping. Your reduced reaction mattered more than anything else. You did not argue as much. You did not defend yourself the same way. You did not try to convince her to understand you. This silence was not weakness. It was self-regulation. But to her, it felt like a loss of influence. When someone depends on emotional reactions to feel powerful, calm feels threatening. Staying grounded changed how she experienced herself around you. Your emotional steadiness highlighted her instability. You were able to sit with tension without escalating it. She could not. This contrast was uncomfortable. Instead of seeing it as an opportunity to grow, she experienced it as exposure. Your behavior made it harder for her to avoid what she felt inside. Why the betrayal happened. The betrayal was not driven by attraction, excitement, or a better option. It came from pressure building inside her. She was running out of ways to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Staying required emotional honesty, accountability, and consistency. Those demands felt overwhelming. Leaving felt easier than slowing down and facing what the relationship was revealing about her emotional limits. She struggled to sit with shame. When moments exposed insecurity or inconsistency, she felt threatened rather than reflective. Instead of processing those feelings internally, she looked for a way to remove the source of discomfort. That source became you, not because you caused the pain, but because your presence made it harder for her to deny it. Dependency was another factor she could not accept. She relied on your emotional steadiness more than she wanted to admit. That reliance conflicted with the image she needed to maintain. When she sensed how much regulation she was getting from you, it triggered fear. Rather than acknowledging that reliance, she rejected it. Betrayal allowed her to break the attachment without admitting vulnerability. Blame followed naturally. Labeling you as distant or uncaring helped her explain the decision without self-examination. Rewriting the story made it possible for her to leave while preserving self-approval. This was not a calculated lie. It was a way to quiet internal discomfort. Shifting responsibility outward reduced emotional strain in the moment. The betrayal also restored a sense of control. Leaving on her terms gave her power back quickly. It ended uncertainty and reasserted dominance over the narrative. Control helped her feel stable again, even if only temporarily. Growth requires tolerating uncertainty. Control avoids it. She chose the option that brought immediate relief. The fatal miscalculation she made about you. She believed your attachment worked the same way hers did. She thought you stayed because you were dependent. She assumed your patience came from fear of losing her. From her perspective, people stay only when they feel they have no other option. She never considered that someone could remain present out of choice, values, or self-control, rather than emotional need. When you went quiet, she misread it completely. She thought silence meant panic. She believed distance meant you were spiraling. In her experience, pulling away is a tactic used to provoke a reaction. She expected messages, emotional explanations, or visible distress. What she did not expect was restraint. Calm withdrawal did not fit the pattern she understood. Your kindness also confused her. You treated her with respect, even when things felt unfair. You did not retaliate. You did not compete for power. To her, kindness was something people use when they lack leverage. She did not recognize emotional maturity. She labeled it weakness because that explanation made her feel superior and in control. She never understood that you were evaluating, not clinging. You noticed patterns. You felt the imbalance. You stayed present while deciding whether the connection still aligned with your standards. That internal process was invisible to her. She assumed your presence meant dependency because she could not imagine staying without emotional need driving it. This misunderstanding shaped her choices. She believed she could replace you easily. She believed you would remain emotionally available even after being disrespected. She believed she could leave without consequence. That belief gave her confidence to betray rather than communicate. It was not bravery, it was miscalculation. What happens inside you after the betrayal? At first, the pain is real and heavy. Sleep feels off. Focus comes and goes. Your body stays alert even when nothing is happening. Thoughts loop because the story does not add up. What you were told does not match what happened. This stage is not weakness. It is your system reacting to emotional shock and sudden loss of stability. Confusion follows closely behind the pain. You replay moments, trying to understand where things shifted. You question your judgment. You wonder if you missed signs. This mental noise feels exhausting, but it serves a purpose. Your mind is trying to rebuild a clear picture without distortion. It is slow because clarity cannot form, while emotions are still raw. As time passes, a subtle shift begins. The emotional energy once spent monitoring her moods is no longer required. You are not managing reactions. You are not adjusting yourself to prevent conflict. That constant tension fades. You may not notice it immediately, but your body does. Breathing feels easier. Small decisions take less effort. Your thinking starts to change as well. You see patterns more clearly. Behaviors that once felt confusing now make sense. You stop blaming yourself for things that were never yours to carry. This clarity does not come from anger. It comes from distance. Distance gives your mind room to sort truth from emotional noise. Self-respect rebuilds quietly. You stop explaining yourself to people who are not listening. You stop chasing closure from someone who avoided honesty. You begin trusting your internal signals again. This does not make you cold or guarded. It makes you grounded. You respond instead of react. That shift is noticeable, even if you keep it private. What looks like emotional collapse from the outside is actually internal adjustment. You are not losing yourself. You are reclaiming parts that were set aside to keep the relationship stable. Your priorities realign. Your tolerance for chaos lowers. You become more selective without becoming closed off. This phase matters because it changes how you move forward. You are no longer driven by urgency or fear of abandonment. You make choices from clarity, not pressure. The betrayal triggered pain, but it also removed imbalance. And that change sets the foundation for stronger boundaries and healthier connections ahead. What happens inside her after the betrayal? At first, she appears completely fine. She stays busy and socially active. She talks about new plans and new people. From the outside, it looks like the betrayal had no impact. This stage convinces others that leaving you was the right move. What is missed is that she is not calm. She is distracted. Activity replaces reflection because slowing down would bring uncomfortable feelings she does not know how to handle. She moves on quickly because stillness feels unsafe. Quiet moments give space for self-awareness, and that is what she avoids most. Filling time with people, messages, and attention keeps her from sitting with regret or doubt. This is not confidence. It is management. The pace of her life increases because she is trying to stay ahead of internal discomfort that has no clear name. Without you, emotional stability weakens. You were not just a partner. You were part of her regulation system. Your presence helped smooth emotional swings and reduced inner tension. Once that is gone, irritation rises faster. Anxiety lasts longer. Small frustrations feel bigger. She may not connect these changes to your absence, but the difference shows up in how quickly she becomes overwhelmed. The emptiness does not arrive all at once. It builds slowly. At first, new attention feels exciting. Compliments help temporarily. Distraction works for short bursts, but the effect fades quickly. She needs more input to get the same relief. What once felt satisfying now feels flat sooner. This creates restlessness that never fully settles, no matter how busy her life looks. Each new connection feels lighter and less grounding. Conversations stay surface level. Emotional depth feels tiring. She avoids situations that require vulnerability or accountability. This keeps things easy, but it also keeps them shallow. Over time, she notices that relationships no longer provide the same comfort. Instead of questioning why, she assumes people are the problem and moves on again. Her life continues moving forward, in appearance only. Milestones may happen, social circles may change, but emotionally, the same patterns repeat. The same conflicts, the same exits, the same dissatisfaction. Development requires reflection and responsibility. She avoids both. As a result, experience accumulates, but wisdom does not. Why she cannot truly recover. At the moment of betrayal, she made a clear internal decision. She chose to avoid discomfort instead of slowing down and looking at her role. Avoidance feels easier because it brings fast relief. Reflection takes effort and patience. She did not want to sit with guilt, confusion, or self-doubt. Walking away allowed her to keep her self-image intact without doing emotional work. She also chose blame over responsibility. Blame protects her from feeling flawed. If the problem is always someone else, then nothing inside her needs to change. This keeps her emotionally safe in the short term, but it blocks growth. Responsibility would require admitting patterns, limits, and mistakes. That level of honesty feels threatening to someone who relies on control to feel stable. Over time, this choice hardens. It becomes a habit. She learns to move forward without processing anything deeply. Socially, she adapts well. She knows how to talk, charm, and stay relevant. She may succeed at work or appear confident in public. None of that means emotional recovery. Success can happen without emotional depth. Inside, her emotional range narrows. Empathy becomes selective. She connects when it benefits her and disengages when it requires effort. Relationships start to feel practical rather than mutual. There is less patience for complexity and less tolerance for discomfort. This is not because she is heartless. It is because she never learned how to stay present with hard emotions. True recovery would require facing guilt directly. She avoids that. It would require admitting that the betrayal caused real harm. That level of accountability feels overwhelming. Instead, she repeats familiar patterns where she feels in control. Each repetition reinforces the same emotional ceiling. Experience increases, but understanding does not. Because of this, change never goes deep. Behavior may shift slightly. Language may improve, but the core remains untouched. Without reflection and responsibility, recovery stays surface level. She survives, functions, and moves on, but she does not truly heal. The final shift she never expected. At some point, something changes that she did not plan for. You stop reacting. You stop checking. You stop engaging emotionally. There is no argument and no announcement. The connection simply ends on a deeper level. This is confusing for her because she is used to emotional responses, even negative ones. She notices that she cannot reach you the way she used to. Messages do not pull you back. Silence does not provoke you. Your energy is no longer available for regulation or validation. This is when the loss becomes real. Not because you said goodbye, but because there is nothing left to access. This realization arrives quietly. There is no dramatic moment. It shows up as frustration, curiosity, or a brief urge to reconnect. But the old dynamic does not restart. You are no longer emotionally positioned where she expects you to be. That shift breaks the pattern she relied on. What unsettles her most is the permanence. Replacement worked before because you stayed emotionally open. This time, the door is closed without hostility. That kind of boundary cannot be negotiated. It forces her to face a reality she avoided. Not everyone remains available after being mistreated. She may try to rationalize it. She may downplay it. But internally, she understands something has ended for good. That awareness does not lead to growth. It leads to distance. She moves on again because staying with that realization feels uncomfortable. Why this changes everything for you. Her betrayal did not take your stability away. It removed pressure that you had been carrying. What felt like abandonment at first slowly turns into separation that creates space. Space allows clarity. Clarity allows better decisions. You did not get through this because you were tougher than her. You moved forward because you were willing to feel pain, sit with confusion, and reflect honestly. That process rebuilt self-trust. It also raised your standards without making you closed off. You are not stuck replaying the past. You are integrating it. You are learning what balance feels like and what it costs when it is missing. That awareness changes how you choose, connect, and protect your energy. She continues moving without looking inward. You move forward with understanding. That difference shapes the future in ways that become clearer over time. What ended did not define you. How you responded did. And as always, because YouTube's algorithm tends to favor videos with strong engagement, if you feel this video has brought you value, a simple like and a quick subscribe would mean so much. It not only helps this message reach more people who need it, but also ensures you will never miss the next video that could make a difference in your journey. Thanks all.